Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful psychological pattern that, let's be honest, pretty much every funded trader goes through. It's this predictable cycle of emotions that can take you from feeling on top of the world to the edge of losing your account. And the crazy part is, it often happens without you even seeing it coming. So here's the big question, right? It's so frustrating. You can have a great strategy, you can be super disciplined, you can build your account up methodically, and then all of a sudden you find yourself making these reckless moves that just undo all that hard work. So why? Why does this happen? Well, the answer isn't in your charts or your strategy, it's all about what's going on in your head. And this quote, man, it just hits the nail on the head. It is so true. Think about it. It's almost never that one single losing trade that blows up your account. No way. It's the chain reaction, that cascade of emotional, panicked decisions you make in the hours and days after that loss. Understanding that reaction, that's the key to protecting your capital. Okay, so let's actually map this thing out. This journey of self-sabotage isn't random. It actually unfolds across four very distinct, very recognizable phases. And if you can learn to spot them, you can figure out where you are in the cycle and, way more importantly, know exactly when it's time to hit the brakes. So you can see the path here, right? It starts off great in what we call the honeymoon phase. Then it slowly, kind of quietly, decays during the drift. After that, a trigger event exposes the weakness, and that's what sends you into that final, rapid downward spiral. The goal here isn't to pretend this cycle doesn't exist. The goal is to know where you are on this map before you get anywhere near that last really destructive phase. So let's start with phase one, the honeymoon. This is right after you get funded, you're on your best behavior, you're careful, you're methodical, you're probably even a little scared of messing up and losing this thing you just worked so hard for. And you know what? That fear is actually a good thing. It produces really sharp, disciplined trading. But here's the trap. As you start winning and your account grows, your brain starts to confuse the results of your discipline with proof of your incredible skill. And that, right there, is a super dangerous mistake to make. Which, of course, leads us right into phase two, the drift. That initial fear starts to fade, and comfort sets in. And as it does, your standards start to loosen up in these tiny, almost invisible ways. Maybe your journal entries get a little shorter, or you let that trading session run just a little longer than you're supposed to. You're not breaking any huge rules, not yet. You're just making slightly less good decisions. And the scary part? Your account might still be going up, which just reinforces those looser standards. It's sneaky. And then comes phase three, the trigger. This is the moment of truth. It's usually a big loss or maybe a string of them that just rocks your account. And what that event does is it suddenly shines a big, bright spotlight on all that softened discipline, all that sloppiness from the drift phase. This is the fork in the road. You can either see this as a warning sign, a signal to pause and get your act together, or you can let that pressure shove you right into the next and most dangerous phase. And that brings us to phase four, the spiral. This is where the wheels completely come off and your psychology becomes an accelerant for disaster. Every single decision you make is no longer about trading your system the right way. Nope, it's all about one thing, getting back what you lost. So you start trading more, you size up, you take garbage setups you never normally touch. It's a totally predictable reaction to pressure, and it is exactly how accounts get blown up with terrifying speed. Okay, this slide right here is huge. It just perfectly captures the psychological breakdown. I mean, look at the difference between the honeymoon mindset and the spiral mindset. Methodical, careful decisions become totally reactive. Strict rule following, yeah, that gets completely ignored. And that healthy, cautious fear you started with, it morphs into this desperate, panicked sense of urgency. This is a snapshot of the mental decay that happens, and it's pretty stark when you see it side by side. But look, recognizing the problem is only half the battle. So what do you actually do when you realize, oh man, I'm in the spiral? The good news is there's a clear, actionable protocol you can use to slam on the brakes and stop the momentum before it's too late. And here it is. This is your way out. Step one, you stop. And I don't mean for an hour. You close your platform for one full trading day. This is non-negotiable. Step two, you read. You go back through your journal for the last 2 weeks and pinpoint exactly when the drift started. Step three, you reset. All your standards, your risk, your session times, your setup rules, everything goes back to those high discipline week one levels. And finally, step four, you return, but with a reduced schedule to ease yourself back in the right way. And this point is so important to understand. This protocol isn't about fixing your trading strategy.
your strategy is probably just fine. This is about fixing your mindset. It's about fixing your environment, the conditions that allow you to trade well. If you get the conditions right, the good trading will naturally follow.
All right, let's make this really practical. We're going to turn this into a tool you can use, like, right now. I want you to look at these symptoms on the next slide and be brutally honest with yourself. Which one of these best describes your trading behavior at this very moment? So take a look. If your journaling is super detailed and your sessions are locked in, you're probably in the honeymoon. Awesome. Now, your job is to protect that discipline. If your journal entries are getting shorter and your sessions are stretching, you're in the drift. This is your warning shot. Reset now before a trigger hits you. If you just took a loss and you feel that powerful urge to get it back right away, you're at the trigger. You need to pause, now. And if your position sizes are creeping up and rules are basically just suggestions at this point, you are in the spiral. You need to activate that break protocol immediately.
And I gotta leave you with this one last critical point. It is incredibly, incredibly hard to see the spiral when you're in it. That feeling of urgency, that panic, it completely clouds your judgment. This is exactly why having a trading buddy or being part of a community isn't some nice-to-have luxury, it is an absolute necessity. You need someone on the outside who can hold up a mirror and tell you what you can't see yourself.
So we're going to end on this question. Now that you understand the cycle, what's your plan? Because the market is always going to be there tomorrow, but your funded account might not be if you don't have a predefined non-negotiable protocol for when your psychology inevitably takes a hit. So I'll ask you again, what are you going to do the next time you feel that spiral begin?